Tailgaters!
What is up, TDs, beers, and tailgates? Week number 16 coming at you, baby.
Yeah,
It's happening.
buddy. Got 2 regular seasons left, or 2 regular season games left.
Yep.
And hey, a lot of you guys, it's championship weekend.
That's
So,
true. Yeah, hopefully
good
you
times.
made it long enough to enjoy us, to enjoy the show here in week 16 with us. Stick around. We're gonna have lots to talk about, and hopefully we can help you win your championship game, win some money. That's what's all
Yeah,
about.
buddy.
That's why we're all here, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
hey, you know,
Some
good
play
times.
for fun, some play for fun, some play for money. I'm here for the dough. Here for the dough.
Ah, love it.
All right.
So, what you drinking, Bri?
Drinking. You know what? Next time we see y'all, it'll be past the holiday. So I decided to break out one of my favorite Christmas beers, a Christmas Ale by good old Great Lakes Brewing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a solid beer, and it's expensive for a 6-pack.
Great Lakes Brewing is a good company, though.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
make some good brews.
they have good shit. It's a good ale with little spices and honey, and gets you in that Christmas spirit. So there you go.
Me personally, I am drinking the champagne of beers because we're cracking that open because I am in 4 championship games. I advanced 4 out of the 5 in the playoffs that I was in. I took down you, so we're cracking the champagne of
What? I hate
beers.
when that happens. Sorry.
We're going for the high life.
Oh shit!
Cheers,
Yeah,
brother.
cheers to you, buddy. Fuck. That didn't take long for that to come out.
Wow, there's
Okay.
a reason I don't drink that.
Yeah, there's a reason why a lot of people don't drink that. Bear with me for a second here as I try to get a watch party going on this.
No worries, no worries. I can tell you that I am wearing the Josh Allen jersey. It's a big game
I do it.
today. We got New England and, hey, 2 really good defenses, not just in fantasy, but overall stats as well. You got number 1, number 3 with Buffalo. And Josh Allen, I think Buffalo's going to win this game on his shoulders if it happens. And he's got to protect the ball. So I'm trying to give him some good juju.
There you go. There you
And
go.
we got the Josh Allen jersey rocking today.
All right, right on.
And the Zubaz pants.
I myself am rocking a going back to Philip Lindsay, Denver Broncos. So a little
Lindsay's gonna
disappointed
have a
in my
good game.
Bears, and I'm excited for the Broncos. I think they're going to feast on the Lions this weekend. I think it's going to be a great game for Denver.
I do too.
You know, Philip Lindsay got stuck in the snow last week. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I think he's got a great opportunity to bounce back at home. And all the Broncos do, really. Drew Lock, Lindsay, Sutton should be a great game for the Broncos in Denver. 60 degrees, too, Denver this weekend.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Right, I know.
It's
Well,
crazy.
hell, we're supposed to get like 45, 48 here.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Kind of like this weather. Granted, wasn't it not too long ago? Snow for the Halloween show?
We had snow on Halloween, and we're going to have sunshine and like mid-40s on Christmas. I mean, that's crazy.
And rain. I heard.
Yeah.
We're in rain.
Rain on Christmas?
Yeah, on Christmas
What
Day.
the hell? Some crap. Whatever.
It is what it is.
All
It is
right.
what it is.
All right, so you kind of mentioned how we did in our fantasy leagues. You made it to 4-year championships. I made it to 2 out of 3. I was slain by, Buffalo Jay here. Took me down
The
by 2
Stampede.
points. Last minute decision, I frickin' bench Winston instead for Mahomes. I do it 10 out of 10 times, though. I mean, you drafted Mahomes in the 2nd or 3rd round, you frickin' play him in a championship game. And Winston's been hot, though. I mean, the dude has 900 yards and 8 touchdowns in his last 2 games.
Yeah.
Who would have thought he would have
Yeah.
had back-to-back 450 yards and 4 frickin' touchdowns?
First player
Not
in
me.
history. First player in history to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
And, hey, you know what? Michael Thomas. All I got to say
Michael
is Michael
effing Thomas. Yeah.
2 of my leagues, I was down by damn near 30 points. And didn't Michael Thomas pull it out for me? Not only against you, but also in another league I was in. I won by 1.9 because of Thomas. So,
You know,
Man.
so I was bored to play Monday night to Portland, and I'm watching the game on my phone. I'm staying at the gate, and the crew's late, whatever. I'm like, no big deal. Watching Michael Thomas get catch after catch after catch, and then when I finally realized what the hell I'm doing, I almost boarded a plane to Phoenix rather than Portland. I'm like, oh shit!
he was running. He's running
I'm
from
at
the
the wrong
Stampede
gate.
going, shit, I'm out of here. I lost. Screw
Yeah,
this.
thankfully the gate was only 2 gates down, and they're like, "Oh, you decided to join us." I'm like, "Yeah, I was watching my fantasy team lose to Michael Thomas."
In the first half, nonetheless.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Wow.
All right. Anyways.
Anyhow. Let's get into the Week 15 recap. Got no shout-outs, right?
No. Let's do a recap of our six-packs from Week 16.
Week 15.
Yep, that's what I meant.
Yep, Week 15 recap. So I'll go ahead and start it off for us. Baker Mayfield. I had Baker Mayfield in my six-pack last week. Thought he was going to go off on the Cardinals. Wasn't too bad. 30 of 43, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have an interception, but you know what? Just under 70% completion percentage. I mean, that was really good for Baker, and I'm not a big fan of Mayfield, but he looked pretty good. Finished with 17 points in most leagues. Wasn't too bad.
Yahoo. Okay. Well, mine was the aforementioned Jameis Winston. So Winston, second week in a row, went off. We already mentioned this, 450 and 4 TDs, 2 weeks in a row, 37 points on my effing bench. I won't talk more about that, but that was a great pick in my six-pack. Maybe I should have effing listened to myself and played him. Go
ahead. Darius Slayton. Everything on paper looked really, really good. Eli making what probably is his last start at MetLife Stadium. And going against the Dolphins, projected at 13.5 points, only finished with 2 catches on 3 targets, 31 yards. He did find the end zone, so at least that, but finished under 12 points in most leagues. Not very good when you're looking for some serious production.
Nope. And, I guess I was already given a preview of my six-pack in our pre-show monologue here. Philip Lindsay was the next guy I had in my six-pack, and as I mentioned, he got stuck in the snow. He wasn't going anywhere. He had 3 freaking points, 32 yards. And Denver, being from Denver, Colorado, you think they know how to play in the snow, and they look lost. They looked lost the whole game, and Kansas City ran all over him. Mahomes had a great game, and Lindsay just didn't get it going, so he was a dud last week.
Not very good.
Nope.
I'll tell you another one that was not very good. Zach Pascal versus the Saints. Indy could not do anything against the Saints. The Saints were just, Drew Brees and them just rolled. But Zach Pascal, 6 targets, 4 catches, 44 yards. Finished with 8.4 in most leagues. Not very good from a number 1 wide receiver. And not good.
No, not at all. So we're not on a good roll here. Christian Kirk, he also sucked. He rolled his ankle. He's got an ankle that he's dealing with right now, but he had a great matchup, only 9 points. 4 for 33, and a 28-yard rush helped him a little bit. But 9 points is not what I was expecting of him against Cleveland's 31st-ranked defense. And what happened with Arizona receivers, or even if you had Kyler Murray, was Kenyon Drake took all the touchdowns. We had 4 damn touchdowns.
Yep.
So that took it away from Kirk, Fitzgerald, Murray. They all got screwed by Kenyon Drake.
Big talk in Phoenix that Drake might get a nice contract from them, which is going to maybe limit David Johnson.
Interesting. I heard he might be on his way out, David Johnson. So I don't know where he'd end up. Probably, I don't know. But
it's hard to say.
I wouldn't be surprised if Johnson is not with the Cardinals next year.
I wouldn't either. All right, my next one was, I had a hunch. Ian Thomas, tight end for the Carolina Panthers, going against Seattle, who had the second worst defense against tight ends. On paper, should have had a big game, but Carolina's not throwing to him, nor were they utilizing him. Only 3 targets, caught 2 of them, 23 yards. Look, the guy's almost at a 12.0 yard per catch, and you're not giving him the ball. Should have probably stuck with that, and he finished with a 4.3. Oof. That was a terrible six-pack pick.
Speaking of terrible six-pack picks, how about Kenny Galladay?
Oh, boy.
Shit. I mean, did we what the we were thinking? So Kenny Galladay, again, he was primed for light to crash into the set. And, thanks, son.
He was.
Anyways, Kenny Galladay was primed for a big game. It didn't happen. He only scored 7 points, 3 catches, 44 yards, and 7 targets. David Blah was David Blah. Like, as an ass. So, very unfortunate for Kenny Galladay owners. And you know what? I don't think he's going to bounce back against Denver this week. That's not looking good for him either.
No,
so,
go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
All right.
I'm going to pick up our toys here.
Go ahead.
And you go on with your next
You
pick.
can keep that New England one down if you want.
Yeah.
I had Aaron Jones in my six-pack going up against the Bears. 13 carries, 51 yards, had 2 touchdowns against that Chicago defense. 17.1 in most leagues, finished pretty good. But what was very odd for me was the fact that Aaron Rodgers did not use or target his running backs coming out of the backfield. There was only one pass thrown the entire game to running backs, and that was to Williams.
That's the only one that's missing, and I really don't care, but I'll check that anyways.
So, yeah, very interesting that there were no catches for Aaron Jones. He still put up a halfway decent stat line at 17.1.
Do you have any more six
I
pack?
do.
Okay,
I've got
go ahead.
one more.
Go ahead, and I'll double up
You
as
go
I
ahead and do that.
play with our choice.
My last one was Chris Carson going against Carolina, and damn did he put up a good game. 24 carries, $133, 2 touchdowns, had 1 catch for 4 yards, finished with over 26 points in most leagues. So, Chris Carson, you were a saving grace in my 6-pack last week.
Okay, you know what? I'll do 2 real quick here because Jay doubled up as I played with our toys. This guy was an absolute stud on Monday night. Drew Brees, 31 points,
buddy.
307 yards, 29 to 30 passing. Michael Thomas caught all 12 of his 12 freaking targets.
Yep.
And the most important thing for Drew Brees,
540.
541.
Yep.
Moved 2 touchdowns ahead of the all-time passing touchdown record in front of Peyton frickin' Manning. Congrats, Drew Brees, on a hell of a career, which is still going.
Yeah.
I think he's already eclipsed the yards. He's got the touchdowns.
Yep.
So he's had a hell of a year, a hell of a career, I should say. He'll definitely be in the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, sooner than later. So,
And I don't think Tom Brady will pass that record of touchdowns, even though he's right there. I believe he's 4 behind right now.
Yeah.
But I don't think Tom Brady's going to end up doing it. He's dropped off, and I don't see him throwing a touchdown today either.
You know,
It's getting bright.
Exactly,
Damn.
it is.
Holy
I
shit.
hope he doesn't throw a touchdown. I'm rooting for Buffalo Heart. I'm not a Patriots fan. I got one more guy in my 6-pack, and we'll move on to our next segment here. Last guy I had also did not do well, other than my 2 QBs, Melvin Gordon. So Melvin Gordon, 2 fumbles. Saw a lot of time on the bench goes, 2 fumbles, only 8 points, 5 receptions for 28 yards. So that's where most of his points came from. But the 2 fumbles did not bode well for him. Again, he's got a chance to bounce back against the Raiders this week. People are liking Gordon and Eckler heading against Oakland,
Yeah.
so hopefully he can get the butter off his fingers, hold on to the damn football.
But if not, it's okay because I got Eckler playing in my league. So it's all right. It's all right.
All right, let's move on to our next segment here and go into our turd dropper of the week.
Who is in the toilet bowl today? And it's none other than a knucklehead who just, whether I don't want to make fun if he's got substance abuse problems, which it sounds like he does. But Josh Gordon, dude, you could have had a phenomenal career. You have screwed it up. You will not be playing in the NFL ever again. This is your fifth, I believe,
fifth,
suspension.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you just could not get your head straight. Josh Gordon, it's a shame, brother, because you had a lot of talent. It's wasted talent. You, my friend, are the turd dropper of the week. Bye-bye.
Yeah, exactly what he said. It was a waste of talent. The guy's a very talented receiver.
Very
His
talented.
days in Cleveland, I thought he was going to be, one of the top receivers. He was one of the tops when he was healthy and stayed off the shit.
Yeah.
But he decided that, weed and everything else is more important. I think this time it was weed and PEDs.
Yep.
What a
Or
dumbass.
painkillers.
Yeah, maybe that too.
I heard it was the painkillers and the marijuana.
Which could be very addictive, just as Brett Favre. But that's a low blow. But I mean, come on. And weed, right? It's not the worst thing in the world. But if it's against the rules, don't fucking do it.
Yeah, and if you've been busted before with it, I mean, come on, man. You got to grow up at some point.
Exactly right.
There's plenty of time to smoke the ganja,
Right?
When you're counting your millions sitting in a nice house if you had a career.
Exactly
Knucklehead.
right. Bye-bye. Nice knowing you.
Bye-bye.
Don't have to worry about him ever again.
No.
All right. Wow, shoot. Are we already into news and injuries here?
We are into the news and injury segment of the show, my man.
Okay.
I can't even see.
I'm
shit.
down.
I can't see.
I'm ready. Detroit quarterback Matthew Stafford officially lands on the IR. I mean, he's got broken bones. He's got broken vertebrae, man.
Still trying to figure why it took so long
Yeah.
for them to put him on IR.
Exactly.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, so he's officially done. So, Lions fans, you're stuck with David Blah for the next 2 games. Sorry to be a Lions fan. Even without David Blah, I'm sorry to be a Lions fan. I'm not, but sorry for you. Another guy, too. Again, I don't know why he wasn't IR'd. A.J. Green. He's officially ruled out for the last 2 games. I'm sorry if you wasted a draft pick on A.J. Green. I had a feeling he wasn't going to play all year, and he didn't. So he's officially done. New Jersey Giants tight end Evan Ingram also landed on the IR. Good player, but the guy has trouble staying on the field.
He does. But I tell you what, that really opens up the door for Caden Smith. And I tell you, if there's a tight end that's really come on, it's been Caden Smith. And hopefully this week, Daniel Jones coming back does end up finding him like he was. So.
Yes, sir. All right, let's move on. Tampa Bay's wide receivers, they got 2 of them that are out. Mike Evans is officially on the IR. Chris Godwin, he's out with a hammy. He might be back week 17. We don't know. But they lost both their top receivers, who were both top 5 receivers for fantasy-wise. And that opened up a big day for Rashard Perriman, and we'll get into him a little bit later in the show. What? I got something on it. So
No, I know. I'm just laughing because he was just the number 1 pickup on waivers.
Yeah,
for
no
sure.
shit. I know. I got cock blocked on him. All right. Oakland running back Josh Jacobs, he is out for Sunday, so DeAndre Washington gets a start. He has really good flex appeal for this Sunday. If you have DeAndre Washington on your roster and need a flex play, I like it. Los Angeles Rams tight end Gerald Everett is back, so that kind of hurts Tyler Higbee a little bit. Higbee has been actually a top 10 tight end over the last handful of weeks, which means you should be starting him if he's in top 10. But with Everett coming back, that drops him down now. I don't know if I like Higbee as much. Minnesota running backs, Dalvin Cook not looking good for Monday Night Football.
I heard he is listed as out.
And then you have Alexander Madison, who's dealing with a swollen ankle. Not sure if he's going to play. So it looks like it'd be an opportunity for Mr. Boone to step up again. Michael Boone. You know, people are saying unless you have all 3 running backs, I wouldn't throw one of them in there. But Cook is out. Madison's very doubtful. Packers run D is someone you can score some points against. So Boone, again, I think he's a good flex play. Maybe even a low-end running back, too, if you need it for a championship week. New England wide receiver Josh Edelman. They say he's questionable for today.
Julian?
But, Julian, not Josh. I was thinking of Josh Gordon. Anyways, Julian Edelman, questionable, but sounds like he is on the right side of questionable. Sounds like he's going to suit up for today. Haven't heard any more news this morning on him, have you?
Nope, and you know what? I really don't care.
All right, let's move on to another wide receiver from Pittsburgh, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Juju.
He did practice in full the last 2 days. Looks like he does not have an injury designation going into this game, but he is a very risky play. He hasn't played in a handful of weeks. The Pittsburgh quarterback situation has been almost as bad as Detroit, if not worse. And I don't think I would start Juju with confidence this week. Even if he does play, he might do what Thielen did to you a handful of weeks ago when he tried to come back from the hammy and play for a few snaps and then take the rest of the game off.
Right.
So I think it's risky as hell to play Juju this week. And I'm debating it because I'm short on receivers on one team. Anyways, Buffalo Jay just mentioned about the New Jersey Giants quarterback Danny Dimes. He's back at the helm. And Eli back to the bench. Sorry, Eli. Another quarterback change in Carolina.
Yeah, I'm not liking this one.
Yeah. The rookie from West Virginia, Will Greer, to start over Kyle Allen.
And what does that say now for DJ Moore? I mean, Christian McCaffrey, of course, is going to be getting the ball.
He's still going to get his points.
DJ Moore, if you've got him on your team, you've got to be a little scared. I honestly took him out of my lineup because I don't know what this kid's going to do. I think the quarterback change is unnecessary, personally.
Yeah, I think so, too. I mean, Riverboat Ron's gone. This new guy's, I don't know if he's trying to make a name for himself or trying to pull a magic rabbit out of his ass or something. I have no idea. But anyways, they're changing the quarterback in Carolina. We'll see what that happens, but I agree with you. DJ Moore, might bring him down a notch. CMC is going to get you points. Kansas City running back Damian Williams, he's back, but I would continue to avoid that backfield. You don't know what you're going to get, especially this week.
You don't know who is going to be playing.
Dude,
man, they're rotating like crazy.
They are, and I wouldn't even take a chance on McCoy or Williams or anybody as my flex in the championship week.
Nope.
This hurts to say. Jacksonville wide receiver DJ Shark expected back now that I'm eliminated from the playoffs. The young man only needs 44 yards to make 1,000 this year. So he's had a solid year.
Yeah, quietly.
Missed him badly last week as my two receivers combined only had 12 effing points. Shark in there. I definitely would have played him over Woods. He may have got me over the hump. Damn it, baby Shark. And we mentioned Christian Kirk earlier. He's questionable. Actually, game time decision for Sunday. He's dealing with a bum ankle. All right, so that's the injuries and news. One other thing I want to mention is about the Cleveland Browns. So Cleveland Browns had a great matchup against the Cardinals, and it didn't turn out so well. There was a lot of talk about Jarvis Landry during that game. Jarvis Landry was apparently asking to be traded to the Cardinals, saying the Cardinals players and coaches, hey, trade for me this season, trade for me this offseason.
Shit, I'm surprised he didn't change uniforms middle of the game.
Yeah, exactly right. OBJ, apparently there's shit about OBJ not being happy in Cleveland. Cleveland, before the season, on paper, they look to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
And on the field, they are not a playoff team. They're the Cleveland Browns. They're still a mass of shit. They're just a mess. They're a mess. In fact, they're just one of the franchises that just seems to be eternally doomed, no matter what you do.
And I think a lot of it, though, stems from poor management, period.
Yeah.
I mean, choosing Freddie Kitchens as your coach was the wrong move. You had Greg Williams, who took that team last year, really had them playing well. A veteran guy, defensive guy, who knew how to control the egos. You throw all those egos in there with a sophomore quarterback, a rookie head coach, and guess what? You know who's running the team? Landry, OBJ.
Yeah. Yep.
Those are the guys running the team, not Freddie Kitchens.
Asylum. Yeah, exactly
and
right.
it's a shame. And you know what? It was one thing that I think on our first show we talked about it, and I was not a fan. On paper, it looked good,
right?
But it was just way
Paper
too
lines.
much. And even Baker's coming out now in press conferences, and he's not happy and saying the wrong things too. So
Yeah.
it's not good.
No, not a good situation at all. I wouldn't be surprised if Freddie Kitchens is out of there too.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
Again, they thought they put together a good team, a good playoff team, and they're a mess. So, anyways, I just wanted to bring that up. That was kind of interesting. Okay, well, that's our news and notes for week
How about
16.
one more? I got
Okay.
one more
Yeah,
for you.
fine.
How about Tommy Coughlin
Yeah.
being gone
He
from
gone.
Jacksonville? The clocks have been turned back to normal time. No more Coughlin time. But what is that going to say now for Jacksonville? Doug Marrone, I think the writing's on the wall. I think he's done after this season.
Yep.
I think the owner over there, Khan, is going to try and go after a big VP, big GM, and probably get himself a nice head coach too.
There's a handful of franchises, so I'm going to put the Browns in there. I'm going to put the Jags in there. I'm going to put the Lions in there. I throw the Jets in there. There's just some franchises that just seem that just can't get anything right.
No.
No matter what they do, no matter who they sign, who they hire as coach or GM or whatever, they just can't freaking get it right. And the Jags are unfortunately one of those franchises. I don't know if they need a change in ownership or what it is, or maybe a change in location. There's been talks over the last handful of years that maybe they'll move out of Jacksonville. I don't know where they would go.
A lot of talk is London, which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I don't like
and
that.
I don't like that. I think they play too many games over there as it is. I think it puts a damper in the players themselves. So
I have nothing against the UK or London itself, but as far as the NFL having a franchise over there, I think it's a horrible idea.
yeah, definitely.
Yep.
But you know what? Hey, and with what Brian, just to piggyback a little bit on what Brian's saying, Buffalo was in that same boat. We were not good for 20 years. And you know what? We went through a crap ton of coaches. We went through GMs. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And we finally went after somebody who actually wanted to change the culture. And culture is one of the biggest things in football, because if you don't have a team, you don't have anything. And you're not going to go nowhere in the NFL unless you're playing together as a unit and not a bunch of egos all playing for stats.
Yep.
You got to remember, you're not playing for the name on the back of the jersey. You're playing for the logo on the helmet. And that's a big culture change that Buffalo has done, which I'm extremely happy for.
Yeah, I can translate that in a couple of my hometown sports, the Chicago Blackhawks. I mean, they're a great example. So when Dollar Bill Wirtz passed away and, the rest of the family took over, now the Hawks are on TV, the Hawks are winning games.
Yeah.
The Hawks win 3 damn Stanley Cups without Dollar Bill Wirtz. It was really good for the franchise. Even the Chicago Cubbies, when they were finally sold from the Tribune.
Yep.
And
And the Ricketts.
And the Ricketts moved on to the Ricketts family and brought in a young GM who knew what the hell he was doing. They finally got a World Series after 100 years. So there's a lot to be said about the culture of the franchise.
It's important.
And some of these teams, even the Bears are one of them too. I mean, the Bears haven't won a Super Bowl since '85. They need a culture change too in Hallis Hall. But there's a lot of these teams that they just need that culture change. Unfortunately, the fucking Patriots, they've had a decent culture, even though their owner gets rubs and tugs for $50 and massage parlors in Florida. They've had a winning culture for many, many years. So it's all about the culture.
It really, really is. And, you got to remember, these are young kids. These kids are in their early 20s coming in. You got to remember, they're not adults. They're not. And the only reason they're getting that big ego and that big head is because the players in the locker room allow it. The coaches allow it. You got to keep it in check. You can be a damn good athlete. You don't have to have a big mouth. Look at Steve Largent. Look at Jerry Rice.
I love Steve Largent.
Look at some of those guys who, I tell you, they weren't all about the glitz and glamour. They went out there and did their job.
Right,
and
right.
that's what it is. It's a job.
Do
You gotta
your
go and
job.
Do your job.
Exactly right. Do your job.
Oh, okay.
So there's your...
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, exactly right. Before we move on to our next segment, on Thanksgiving Day, we had a couple members from the U.S. Navy here join our show. And today, actually, we have a member of the United States Marine Corps join our show, too. My son, Tom, is here watching the show live. So, any of you guys have an opportunity want to come out and watch the show, a big shout out to Thomas. Thank you for your service, son.
Thank you, Tommy. What are you, Lance Corporal?
Yeah.
Corporal?
Lance Corporal Graysick.
Lance Corporal Graysick.
Yep.
USMC.
Exactly, right.
Station Camp Lejeune.
Yeah. Yep.
Very nice.
So,
cheers to you, brother.
yeah. Cheers, Tom. Okay. All right. Let's move on to how about some new, fresh six-packs? Yeah.
Wow. Fresh new six-pack.
We got any of those? Got any of that shit?
I'm hoping. Oh, that's a big old buddy right
me
there.
Too. All right, what we got in here? What we got in there?
Okay.
All right.
I am going to go ahead and start this bad boy off.
Okay.
First one of my six-packs this week, somebody you guys want to be looking for is Tyler Lockett. Home against the Cardinals. Last week, Lockett got back to form. 8 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown. His previous 4 games, he only had 8 total catches for 107 yards. So it was really nice to see Lockett last week. This week, matchup with the Cardinals, give up 200 yards a week. They give up 43 fantasy points to wide receivers a week. Look for Lockett to be right around the 5 to 7 catch mark, 100 yards, and he will find pay dirt. Tyler Lockett, 6-pack.
All right, there you go. I'm going to lead off with the quarterback from the Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson. He gets Tampa Bay's 26th ranked defense versus quarterbacks. They've given up over 4,000 yards and 29 touchdowns so far. So expect this to be a high-scoring game. There's a 50-point over-under on this game. I see that going over.
Yeah.
And those are the games that you want action in. So if you have Watson, obviously, and you made it this far, you're starting him. Starting with confidence. Give me Deshaun Watson as a solid play to your 6-pack this week.
Not Randy Watson, but
Not
Deshaun
Randy.
Watson.
Not Randy. Not Josh Edelman, but Julian. All right, let's go.
All right, I have in my 6-pack Mr. Broken Hand Marlon Mack, home against the Panthers. Since breaking his hand, Mack has been very, very ineffective. He's carrying the ball 24 times for 57 yards and a touchdown. That was also, though, against two top 6 defenses in the league. This week, though, he's got Carolina. Carolina's D's given up the second most points to running backs, The most touchdowns at 26 to running backs. Marlon Mack, I believe, is a very, very good play this week, especially at home. He's in my six-pack.
That's a good pick. All right, I'm going to
Thank
move
you.
on.
Thann you.
I had nothing to say other than good pick. Let's go to Chicago. My homer pick of the week, David Montgomery. So he gets the Kansas City Chiefs, who was 30th against running backs. It didn't work out for Lindsey in the snow, but it's going to be great weather in Chicago this weekend
Yes,
on Sunday night. They give up they've given up over 1,500 yards on the ground so far and 800 through the air.
Yeah.
So Montgomery, who is a dual threat running back, has a great opportunity to put up some decent fantasy points. I don't like him as an RB1 or RB2, but I do like him as a flex this week. Montgomery should be a big factor, or I think he's going to go, man. I mean, you attack your opponent where they're weak. The Chiefs are weak against the run. Attack them on the frickin' ground. Make it happen, Nagy. Put Montgomery in my six-pack.
I got a question for you.
What?
Okay, we'll go off on a little bit. So would you say the issue with Chicago's running game, is it the players themselves or is it the coach?
I would say it's the offensive line sucks.
You think it's the line?
Yeah. We got. I'm not a Massey fan. I'm not a Leno fan. I like Whitehair. I like Daniels. Other than that, I think we need 3 new offensive linemen. So when 3/5 of your offensive lineman is a hot bag of shit, that makes it difficult to run the ball.
Okay.
And it makes it difficult to protect your quarterback and execute the plays on offense. So I think the Bears need a major overhaul on the offensive line and tight end too. We haven't had a decent tight end. Trey Burton did not pan out. Adam, the Bear Jew, Shaheen did not pan out. So there's been a handful of guys that have been trying tight end.
I think you guys need to stay away from the Ivy League tight ends.
Yeah, no kidding.
Get yourself some
seriously.
big boys from Wisconsin,
Yep,
and there you go.
Exactly right. Give me a big boy who can block, who can catch, and can stay on the frickin' field.
There you go. All right, my next player in the six-pack, we're going to go back to that Houston and Tampa Bay game. Like Brian was saying, a lot of points predicted in this one. Jameis Winston, right? I mean, can he keep this thing going? He's been huge the last 2 weeks. As we've said, thrown for over 450, has thrown 4 touchdowns in his last 2 games, each for crying out loud. First player to do so, and now he's looking to spoil the Texans and their bid to win in the division crown. Houston's given up 30 touchdowns and 23 points a week to fantasy quarterbacks. Jameis Winston is going to keep this rolling. Is he going to do 400? I don't think so. But I do believe Winston will be over 350 yards. I do believe he's going to have his third consecutive 4-touchdown performance. Jameis Winston, put him in your six-pack.
Okay. 1 week too late for me. All right, let's go to New Jersey. The Giants running back, Saquon Barkley. So he's finally paying off as the number 1 pick. Last week he put up 30 points. He's putting up points at the right time. Hopefully you made it this far to the championship round and you have Barkley on your roster. Your running back depth was deep enough to get you here. But now he's paying off, right? And I think he's going to pay off again. He has another a great matchup against the Washington Redskins, 26th ranked run defense. I see it as a top 5 option again in Week 16. So start him and watch him rack up the points for you on Championship Sunday. Again, hopefully you're able to withstand his injury and his number 1 overall status as a first-round pick should pay off for you on Championship Sunday.
Yeah, buddy. All right, next for me with the Bengals, Mr. Joe Mixon in Southern Florida. Last week, Mixon torched the number 1 overall defense in the Patriots for 156 total scrimmage yards. He's had runs for over 135 yards in each of his last 2 games. Now he's got the Dolphins giving up an average of 165 rushing yards a week. They've also given up the 7th most fantasy points at 28 to running backs. Look for Joe Mixon to continue, find his 3rd straight 100-yard performance or better, and get in that end zone at least 1 time for pay dirt. Joe Mixon in my six-pack.
There you go. He had a solid game against the Pats last week.
He really did. Go Devin Singletary today.
In fact, even Tom Brady gave a shout-out on Twitter. Well, I think Nixon said something about he was excited to play against Brady, and he was too shy to ask him for a jersey. And then Brady on Twitter said, "Hey, I gotcha," which is kind of cool. Again, I know you're not a Tom Brady fan, but that was kind of cool to see him interact. And he's like, "Hey, man, I got you. I'll send you a jersey. Good game." Anyways, all right, let's move on to.
Yeah, you don't want me to keep going on that one.
No. Dallas Cowboys right here. Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Amari Cooper. He was kind of a dud last week. I think he only had 2 points. But now he gets the Philadelphia Eagles 29th ranked defense against opposing fantasy wide receivers.
Nice.
I think he's going to bounce back in a big divisional game. Both teams are 7-7 heading into this game. And, they're battling for first place. And it's time for big names to make big plays. And that's going to be Amari Cooper on Sunday for the Cowboys. Put him in a six-pack.
Very, very nice. My next one is going to be this boy's, one of his favorite teammates. Jesus, I just went and moved.
What are you doing?
I turned my page. I was thinking of something else. Anyway, the
Christ's
Denver Broncos, Mr. Courtland Sutton, going against the Lions. Even with the quarterback carousel that's going on in Denver, he has been the number one target with the Broncos. Drew Lock has targeted him 10 times last week. He's looking much of the same this week against the Lions team, who's given up the third most fantasy points and at over 40 points a week to opposing wide receivers. I'm looking at Courtland Sutton this week being a big target for Lock. Look for him to have between 7 and 9 catches, get close to that 100-yard mark, and find the end zone. Courtland Sutton, number one receiver in Denver.
Hell yeah.
Put him in your six.
Hell yeah. Got him starting as a wide receiver number 2 in one of my championship games. Love that pick. Let's move on. I already talked about the Cowboys. I'm saying in that same game, we got the Cowboys, we got the Eagles. They're banging heads. They're playing. They're having fun. They're going for first place. We got Zach Ertz, tight end from the Eagles, against the Cowboys' 26th ranked defense against fantasy tight ends. Philly is banged up a wide receiver. Who the hell are they going to throw the ball to? It's going to be Zach freaking Ertz. He's obviously a number 1 tight end going into the league, but I think he's going to have a great game because they have nobody else to throw to. Like I said before with Amari Cooper, big games, big players need to make big names, need to make big plays. I'm tripping over my tongue. So it should be a great game in Philly. Give me some Zach Ertz in my six-pack, baby.
Wow, I like it. I am going to stay on this tight end train.
Yahoo!
Right here with the Minnesota Vikings. I am challenging Michael Fabiano. You went ahead and said you got to sit this guy no matter what it looks like on paper. With Thielen back, yes, Rudolph has not been very good. Only 5 catches, 59 yards in those last 2 games. Green Bay gives up the 4th most fantasy points to tight ends. They give up over 14 points a week. He is a solid play in championships if you stream tight ends. Look for Rudolph to get 4 to 6 catches, 60 to 75 yards. He will take one to the house. He has the last name Rudolph. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Santa's coming to town this week. Put Kyle Rudolph in your six-pack. Fabiano, you're telling people to sit him? No way. I challenge you. Damn right.
You know what? There's something to be said about that. So Rudolph, around the holiday season, I want to say he has like 5 touchdowns around this week of the year. Week 16, Rudolph loves to put up points for
Monday night. Division still on the line.
Gonna be a great game. Gonna be a great game. I'm looking forward to it. Even though I hate both teams and I wish both of them would fall off the edge of the earth, it should be a good game if you like football. So, all right, last.
If you like,
if you like football, if you don't, why are you watching? Because you like us? All right, that's cool too. All right, here's the last team I have for the last pick of my six-pack. Kind of a sleeper. Miami Dolphins defense. What?
Exactly.
What the frick are you talking about?
What?
Because they're playing Cincinnati. Cincinnati gives up the most points to defenses. Okay. Yeah, they traded Minka from Patrick, and the Dolphins are a mess, what have you. But if you watch Andy Dalton play football, he likes throwing to the other team. He's colorblind. He's got red hair. I can say a lot of other things, which probably would not be acceptable for a podcast, so I'm not going to do it. Anyways, they have the Bungles have 28 turnovers. Now they go to South Beach to play the Dolphins. Jay's putting bacon on the grill, so I'm highly distracted right now.
And it's not regular bacon. This is beef
Oh my
bacon,
God.
baby.
Are you kidding me?
Nope,
Get out of
I'm
here. Like
not.
bison?
Beef bacon.
Beef.
It's Angus.
Beef. Really?
Yes,
Angus
sir.
Beef bacon.
Yes,
This
sir.
is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I got the best side gig in the world because I get to do this shit. All right. Anyways, Cincinnati's also let up 5 touchdowns. Their offense has let the opposing defense score 5 touchdowns. So Miami could be a sneaky top play if you're desperate for defenses, looking for someone to stream. Give Miami a shot. Another one, I only have 6 helmets, and actually Jay took this helmet. Indianapolis is not a bad pick this week either. Against a rookie quarterback. You got a rookie quarterback in Carolina starting this week. So they're going to give them an honorable mention for the 6-pack. I can't officially put them in there. But, Indianapolis, anytime you get a rookie playing his first game ever, he's going to be due for a turnover or 2. So, it's not a bad play.
Honestly, and I'm going to take that a step further. And if I were to do an honorable mention, and if I were to go ahead and take a defense,
You don't get one.
it's right here. It's Denver.
Yep.
Denver going against Blau. Blau has been terrible. I think Von Miller's going to have that team playing on a high cylinder today or tomorrow, and I would say Denver is a very, very good streaming option.
Also starting a big D in a big game.
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
6 packs are in the book for week 16.
Hell yeah. Hell to the yeah.
God,
All right.
I love it.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
How about we get in some true false there, bro?
Oh, a little true false
Let's do a
action.
review of week 15 and throw out some new week 16 questions.
Okay. How did the Magic 8 Ball do last week?
You tell me, man.
It did pretty good.
And I brought her back. She's here. She's ready to answer more questions. We'll see. It's not frozen today.
It's
so-
funny. This guy couldn't get more than 1 out of 3 every week as we've been doing this. He brings the Magic 8 Ball. He goes 2 for 3. 2 for 3.
Look at it. Love it.
Nothing
like
wrong
it.
with that. It was very, very good. I enjoyed it a little bit. So,
Yep.
oh, let me put this on real quick.
Dude.
Okay.
Dude.
All right. Number 1.
Okay.
Last week, I went ahead and asked this guy, hey, can Mitchell Trubisky go back-to-back games against the Packers and throw for more yards than Aaron Rodgers? Magic 8 Ball said, yes, definitely. Brian said, true. And it was. Trubisky with 334 yards to Aaron Rodgers 203.
Yep.
Very good call in that game.
Absolutely. All right. Leading off for Jay, was about the Bill Steelers and the over-under. The over-under was 36.5, and I asked him, would they go over? And he said, yep, that's going to happen. And it was false. Only 27 points scored in that game. 17-10 Buffalo
Damn it.
win. While Jay didn't get the true false, I know he's extremely happy that Buffalo clinched the playoffs with the victory over the Steelers.
Skippy I was.
So, anyways.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right.
All right, my next one I had for him was, could the Bears defense hold the Packers offense to under 300 yards? There was no answer from the Magic 8 Ball. He said false.
Yeah, it went sped.
And the Packers the defense did do it. They held the Packers to 292. Damn, Magic 8 Ball didn't come through for him. Got that one wrong.
Okay, all right. Here we go. Jay got this one right. I wanted to go streaking with Jay. We went streaking. I asked him if Miami would come up to New Jersey and hand the Giants, or would the Giants break their losing streak of 9 games against the Dolphins. He said, yep, that's going to happen, and he was right. G-Men won 36-20.
They did. And the last one I gave this guy, because we had that Green Bay and Chicago theme going last week, was, would Aaron Rodgers get picked by the Bears? Aaron Rodgers has only thrown 8 interceptions to the Bears in 10 years. Could they get a pick? Magic 8 Ball said, outlook not so good. Magic 8 Ball was right.
Yep.
There were no interceptions by Aaron Rodgers last
Liking the 8 ball.
week.
Liking the 8 ball. All right, last one for Buffalo Jay was about New England's defense, his second favorite team. They've were the number 1 ranked defense. They've been putting up double digits all year, except for the last 4 out of 5 games. They were in the single digits. I said, will they bounce back and get double digits against Cincy? He said, nope, not going to happen. And they did. They got 20 points, 4 picks, a touchdown. No sacks, though. So 20 points with no sacks. That's a pretty damn good day for your defense. And again, that's why it tells me that Cincinnati is just crappy as hell. And that's why I like Miami. So, anyways, Jay went 1 for 3
Very
last
good.
week, pal.
Yeah. Coming down from my 3-0 I had.
8-ball is bringing me back into the game. We've not done a year to date. It's a lot of work. Maybe we will.
We'll have an end of the year results.
All right. We'll have to
Definitely.
go back. Exactly right. Okay, so why don't we get into some new questions for week number 16, my friend?
Go ahead. I'll let you start it off.
Okay, fine. First question I have to you, sir.
Oh boy, come on with it. Come on with it.
Kind of prepped you for this before the show. First time Josh Allen and Tom Brady met. Josh Allen had 153 yards through the air. Tom Brady only had $150. Josh Allen did not play a full game. True or false? Josh Allen will pass for more yards versus Brady again in the Week 16 rematch.
Will Josh Allen have more passing yards than Tom Brady in Foxborough?
Yep. Is he going to do it again?
Yes.
All right.
Josh Allen will
Big
have more. Josh
True.
Allen cracks 200 yards this week.
All right. So Brady's under 200. I'm going to, not that I'm holding you to that, but I'm going to mark it down anyways.
That's fine.
And,
Hey.
just so I can make fun of you if I have to.
All right, I've got one for you right here, and that is, can the Eagles hold Dak Prescott to under 300 yards passing? Dak Prescott has been on a terror as of late. Granted, a lot of his yards come in garbage time. But
Yeah,
can the
it's
Eagles in Philly hold Dak to under 300 yards passing?
I know what I want to say, but let's see what the 8-ball's got to say here, folks. The 8-ball says, as I see it, yes.
Okay.
As I see it, I know that didn't translate to you all. Sorry, but that's what the 8-ball says.
So you're going true. Under
So
300.
Actually, you know what? I said I know what I wanted to say. Let's see what the 8-ball says. I do agree.
Okay.
So.
All right. I like it.
All right, my turn. Tampa Bay wide receiver Brashard Perriman had the game of his life with 3 of his 5 catches being in the end zone.
Yeah, right.
So he had 34 points and was a top 5 wide receiver in week number 15. Evans is out.
Yep.
Godwin's out.
Yep.
Best game of Perriman's life. He hasn't been done much the rest of his career, in his 4 or 5 year career. Will he be a top 5 play again this week?
Top 5 fantasy player, RTS scoring.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Top 5, okay.
I do believe he will be a top 5 receiver this week
Doggy.
going against those Houston Texans.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's huge. Huge.
All right. Well, my next one has to do with quarterbacks
Okay.
this week.
Okay.
And obviously, Jameis Winston has been on a tear.
God damn it.
And
so good.
he has been going off, and we know this. And his fantasy points have been ridiculous the last 2 weeks. Who's going to have the most fantasy points this week? RTS scoring, Jameis Winston or Lamar Jackson?
Ooh, that's a great question. I like that one a lot. The Ravens get the Brownies, and
Yes,
Winston
they do.
against the Texans.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. I like that one a lot. Let's see what the 8-ball says. The 8-ball says... Oh, shit. I got to pick one. Because you gave me either or, so I need a true false there, bro.
Oh.
So give me
Come
someone
on.
else. Give me someone else score someone. Say Lamar's going to have more than Watson?
No,
I
I'm
mean,
going to say
Winston?
Jameis Winston will have more fantasy
Winston more
points.
than... Okay, Winston more than Jackson. I'm going to go with my first roll and say without a doubt. Shit. First
So
roll said without a
Winston-
doubt. Winston's going to outscore Jackson. Huh. You know what? I like that because the 8-ball said it. No, I like it because I see the Ravens getting ahead big time and Jackson coming out maybe by the third quarter against the Brownies, maybe even sooner.
Could be.
So that's going to give Winston the opportunity to rack up more points. So there we go. Let's stick with that pick.
I like it. I like it.
Okay. What the hell? All right, here we go. Your turn, or you want me to go?
No, yeah, it's yours. You're up.
Oh yeah, right. All right.
Jeez.
True, false.
Give it a program.
All right, some top running backs from the NFC East who haven't done a hell of a lot during the year, but last week, Zeke Elliott and Saquon Barkley combined for 60 fantasy points in Week 15.
Okay.
This week, they have favorable matchups again. Zeke's got Philly, Barkley's got the Skins. Will they combine for 60 or more points again this week?
No.
Okay.
Very quick. No.
Nope.
I believe they'll probably both be in the 20 burger category, but
Speaking of burgers,
yeah, I know, right?
Fucking A.
But I do believe they're going to probably be close to the 50 or under mark, personally. So I say no.
Okay. All right.
All
That's
right.
a big fat no from Jay.
My last true false to the B. Rye is going to his homers here with the Bears taking on the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes averages just under 24 fantasy points a week. Can the Bears keep him under his average, hold him to 23 or less? 23 or less fantasy points. Come on.
23 or less.
23 or less.
You want it for me or the 8-ball?
I want it. You tell me. I mean, obviously you can't pick them. You got to rely on the 8-ball. So I'm thinking you got to go with the 8-ball.
Yeah, so far I haven't argued with the 8-ball. We might have a conversation later. Let's see what it says here. It says, as I see it, yes.
Wow.
Oof.
What do you think? How does Brian see that?
Can't disagree with the 8-ball here. 8-ball says yes. I'm going to say Mahomes is going to be in the upper 20s this week.
Wow. So you're going to go false.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so this will be interesting to see.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
B-Rye
I
says
agreed with the 8-ball
false.
first two rounds. Last time
8-ball says
we
true.
did not agree. So 8-ball, just sit down here and shut the fuck up. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's our true false for week
True false segment
16.
in the books.
It's in the books. And guess what, folks?
Guess what?
Where's that bucket? That's right here.
Oh, that's right.
I got to do a little something here.
Oh, that's right. Oh, we
Why
got
don't you tell everybody what we're doing on the grill there for a second?
yeah, you grab those helmets. All right, so what we got going on the grill today is we are doing Buffalo J Black and Blue burgers. We got the burgers going down, seasoned really, really nicely from a guy from New Jersey. Also got the beef bacon going on. We're going to have blue cheese. We're going to have a triple Jack Colby melt cheese on there.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's going to
huh?
be some good
That's it.
eating for you guys. So that's what we got going on. Because it's burger. Hey, it's simple. It's simple food today. Burgers, baby.
It's simple food.
It's good food. Almost ready food.
All right.
And this is the key right here to a good burger.
What's that? Oh, really?
Butter. Throw
Little
that
pat of
butter,
butter.
right on top. Ooh, and just let that melt right on in. Hell yeah. All right, so here's what we got going on here while B-Ride back there.
Almost done.
You're all like, what's he doing back there with these helmets? So, next week, obviously the fantasy championships will be in the book for most. But we're still going to be here, and we're still going to give you our six-pack players because you might be in some DFS leagues, with FanDuel, DraftKings, whatever you might do.
Sorry.
We are going to randomly pick 6 helmets and come up with players for those 6 helmets for next week, and we're going to go head-to-head and see who has the most points.
Yeah, so what we're doing here is, again, as Jay mentioned, we're both gonna randomly pick 6 helmets on a team for our 6-pack. We have to pick 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and 1 tight end from those 6 teams that we chose. That's it. And we're gonna use our league that we're in together, RT Sports, to use scoring. And whoever has the lower score is gonna get a whipped cream pie in the face in the next show.
Yeah.
That's the deal we made. That's what's happening. So we're calling this our Week 17 6-pack lottery. Mr. Buffalo J, would you like the first pick of helmets out of the bucket here?
I'm going to take the first.
Just reach down, grab any helmet there.
Oh, boy.
We're not going to pick our players today. We're just picking the teams, and we'll go from there.
Oh, the New Jersey Giants. Okay.
Okay. Oh, well, that's actually not bad. All right. He's got the Giants. I am going to take this team right here, who I cannot see. It is the Rams.
Okay.
So,
boy, this ought to be fun, guys. Yeah, pie in the face of whoever.
I can't see in there. I don't know if you
I
can
can't either. All right, my next one I'll be taking will be the Colts.
All right.
Jeez.
I'm
not liking this.
I have the Jaguars.
Yeah, that's a good one. You're going to take Baby Chark on that one.
I might take Baby Shark. We'll see.
The Seahawks. I like that
that's
pick.
Not bad.
It's a good one. Got some good players there.
All right, let's see who I can pick here. I'm going to have the Cardinals. Fuck me.
Nice. Come on, baby. Give me Buffalo. I'd be happy with that. Come on, and what do we got? Oh, the Brownies.
Okay. Let's give me this team right here, the Lions Fudge.
Oh boy, this is gonna be fun to pick players.
This is gonna be hard.
And see who's gonna have the best fantasy points. Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans. You know what? That's not a bad one.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Might have playoffs still on the line there.
The Raiders. Really?
Raiders. All right. Got it. My last pick. Come on, give me somebody good. Oh, there's no way.
What do you got? Oh, no! You gotta be kidding me.
That is awesome.
So what, you got the Hawks and the Raiders.
Oh, this is
Or,
great.
I'm sorry, the Bills, rather. I got the Raiders.
This is going to be fun.
I guarantee you, Tom, this is going to be the Packers, and I'm just going to throw this whole bucket across Gurney.
Oh,
That's the
no.
Texans. Ooh, actually, I like that. All right.
All right.
Finally, I got a good pick at the end. This is going to be very tough. All right. So we have our teams. Jay has the Giants, Colts, Seahawks, Titans,
Bills.
Browns, and Bills. And I have the Rams, Jaguars, Cardinals, Lions, Raiders, Texans. What a bag of crap.
This is going to be fun. So, again, we have to each pick now. Out of these 6 teams, we have the choice of 1 player for each team, 1 quarterback, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a tight end.
Exactly right.
Whoever has the most fantasy points will not get the pie in the face.
Exactly.
So this will definitely be fun.
Thank God I
Make
like
sure
whipped
you
cream.
guys are tuning in to the show when we pick our teams next week.
Based on that, I can already taste the whipped cream, but we'll see what happens.
Right.
We both have some options. I got a couple quarterback options, Kyler Murray or Deshaun Watson there, so I like that. And you got some as well. You got Russell Wilson, Tannehill, Josh Allen. So yeah,
This should be fun.
This is actually, I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun.
Definitely.
Should be fun. Okay. That's our Week 17 lottery. Jay already talked about our food. We're going to move on to our games of the week because I know we're getting a little bit long in the tooth here. I'm not sure what time it is, but I know we got a game coming up here at noon. So why don't we move on to our first game of the week, and that's going to be New Orleans at Tennessee.
Oh, man.
The Saints. They are laying 2.5 on the road. We got a 50-point over-under. Again, this is one of those games. You got that 50 points. Give me some action in that game. I want everybody I can from the Saints and Titans. I love Ryan Tannehill and Drew Brees. Drew Brees, while he set his record, Michael Thomas still has a record that he's chasing for receptions.
Yes, he does.
So he's going to be feeding him the ball, so that means Brees is still going to be throwing quite a bit in that game. Derrick Henry, he does not have an injury designation going into this weekend, so I like me some Derrick Henry, of course. Kamara has not been up to stuff for everybody this year.
No.
Unfortunately. Michael Thomas is a no-brainer. He's the number 1 receiver in football. What else do you like in this game, Jay?
Oh, with the Saints and Titans, I'll tell you one thing I'm nervous about, and some of you guys out there, you're in your championships games. Derrick Henry. I'd be a little nervous about Henry with his hamstring injury, but also he's going against the Saints defense, who is the 6th best team against running backs. Henry could be a little bit of a scare this week, even though he's been a very solid play of late. Other than that, I mean, yeah, you got to play your Saints. You've got to have Michael Thomas in there. You've got to have Drew Brees. Jared Cook is a very, very good play
Cook,
this
too.
week.
He's a top 10.
Definitely. And yeah, so Ryan Tannehill, we kind of seen what the Saints did to Jacoby Brissett. Ryan Tannehill has been very, very good of late. They are playing at home. They do have a lot to play for and trying to still win the division. Ryan Tannehill could be a sneaky play, especially if the game gets out of hand.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
look for a lot of passing yards and watch out for Henry. Could be a tough one there.
Okay. All right, let's move on to Tampa. So we have the Houston Texans playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Getting ready to kick off real soon.
Another 50-point over-under.
Yes.
And Houston's laying 3 on the road, another road favorite here. We talked about Winston quite a bit already. We talked about Perryman. Perryman has an opportunity to be a top 10 or even a top 5 play, according to Jay. And Houston, you got Deshaun Watson. So you got Winston and Watson. Obviously, you're playing those two guys, right? I'm still staying away from Tampa Bay's backfield, even though Jones is showing flash in the pan here and there. I'm still staying away from that. Perryman, you're going to start him if you got him. I think he's a great flex play this week. DeAndre Hopkins, obviously, he's a no-brainer. Will Fuller, he scares me. As I said, we talked about multiple times during the show.
Yeah.
He's a boom or bust type dude. If you're desperate, maybe throw him in there as your flex. But, man, that bacon looks fantastic. Any other notes on Houston and Tampa Bay, sir?
Obviously, this is going to be, as Brian said, this is one of the highest point totals here this week. It's going to be a huge scoring game. I'd stay away from defenses this week with these guys. But definitely, Jameis Winston's going to look to have a good game. I believe Will Fuller. Kenny Stills could be a very, very good play this week. DeAndre Hopkins. Running back-wise, it's hard to say. With what Tampa Bay has going on with Barber or Jones, I think this is going to be an aerial attack today.
Yep.
And I really do believe it's the wide receivers, it's the quarterbacks that are really going to go ahead and be the top dogs. So have those in there. Have them in your lineup. Good play this week, though.
Yep.
Solid.
Yeah, like you said, it's going to be the air show. Looking forward to it. Should be a fun game to watch. Baltimore going into the dog pound in Cleveland. They have a high total on this game, too. 49 points, but Baltimore's favored by 10. They're expecting Baltimore to get most of those points in this game. As we mentioned, it could be an early game for the likes of Lamar Jackson, Ingram, Mark Andrews. Your studs from Baltimore might see the bench in the fourth quarter if they're up by big points against the Brownies, who are just a big ball of shit right now. Landry, last week you were hoping for Landry to do some points. He got single digits for you. So, is he going to get some points against Baltimore? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what to expect from Cleveland this week because of the infighting and everything else. I think Baltimore has a chance to win this game by 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think this game here itself, I think you've got to stay away from anybody with the Browns, to be honest with you. I think Baltimore's defense is going to be too tough. Yes, Cleveland beat Baltimore earlier in the year. And yes, Cleveland put up a good amount of points against Baltimore. I don't see that happening this week.
It's all revenge now.
I definitely believe Lamar Jackson, this team is going to continue to roll like crazy. Lamar Jackson, Ingram, get yourself some Brown in there. Andrews, get those Ravens in there. But as far as Cleveland players, I would be staying away wholeheartedly. Dude, here is your burger.
Me? Yes, they're getting Marine drooling over
Lance
here.
Corporal Tom, that is for you, brother.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm just gonna set that there. Woo! Still got 3 more games to get into.
So we had a Marine ready to strike.
Yes, he was.
All right. Let's move on to the Pacific Northwest, where I just came back from this week. So Arizona taking on Seattle up there.
Yeah.
Seattle favored by 9.5 at home, with the biggest point total of the week, 50.5. So again, get your Arizona Cardinals and Seattle Seahawks in this ball game. Russell Wilson's a no-brainer. Kyler Murray, I think he's a no-brainer in this game. Even though he didn't throw a touchdown last week, I don't expect Kenyon Drake to score 4 touchdowns every game. That's not going to happen. So, Murray could always get you a TD with his legs, just like Wilson, and expect him to, throw at least one through the air this week. Other than that, we mentioned Christian Kirk is questionable on the Cardinals side, so make sure that you're paying attention to the injury report Sunday morning on that. Seattle, Jay talked about Tyler Lockett in his six-pack, so we obviously like that. Chris Carson, too. You're starting him if you have him here championship week. Another guy that I like on Seattle this week is Jacob Hollister. So
yes.
the Cardinals are
terrible against tight ends.
Yeah, they're one of the worst teams against tight ends. I want to say they're dead last, if not last.
They're last.
And there you go. So Jacob Hollister, he could potentially see pay dirt, if not once, maybe twice for you. So Jacob Hollister, I think, is a really good streaming tight end play this week.
And as much as, yes, this game is huge as far as point totals. Vegas thinks this is going to be a high-scoring game. I, on the other hand, don't agree with Brian with your Cardinals. I do believe this is going to be a high-scoring game, but I believe Seattle's going to have right around that 40 burger mark.
Speaking of burger.
The Cardinals are only going to put up maybe 10, 13 points. That's my opinion. Playing in Seattle, I like the Seattle players in this. I like Chris Carson. I think it's going to be a great play. Tyler Lockett is going to be good. DK Metcalf is going to be good. Hollister, Russell Wilson, those are the guys that you're going to want in. I'm a little nervous about Kyler Murray this week and Kenyon Drake going into the 12th man hostile environment of Seattle. So look for a lot of points to be put up. Most of them, though, by the Seattle Seahawks. I like Seattle big in this one. That's where I'm going.
There you go. All right.
Chiefs and Bears? Not a problem. All right, we got Kansas City traveling to Chicago. You got Mahomes. You got Mac. You've got the Chiefs, who we've talked about, have the third most points to running backs, but they are extremely good against wide receivers. Believe it or not, Kansas City is the second best team fantasy-wise to wide receivers. That could make it for a long day for Allen Robinson owners, Anthony Miller owners, because Miller has really come on lately. I think he's a solid play for Chicago, but this week I think is going to be a little tough. If I had to pick between the two, I would probably take Miller over Robinson this week, mainly because Kansas City, as we talked about, struggle against running backs, but they struggle against running backs coming out of the flat. Slot receivers this week are very, very good play. Anthony Miller's coming out of the slot. I really, really like his play in here. As far as the Chiefs go, I mean, the Bears have a solid defense. They're 10th best against wide receivers. They're 5th best against quarterbacks. They're 14th best against running backs. Where they struggle is tight ends. Travis Kelce will probably have a big game this week. Mark my words, I believe Travis Kelce will have the most fantasy points for any Chief player this week.
Okay. Wow. Even more than Mahomes.
More than Mahomes.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm worried about the Bears because they're eliminated from the playoffs. So, we're going to see who's going to step up and play and who's going to pack it in. Akeem Hicks last week in the game was a monster. He played against the Packers. The dude could barely move his arm, and he was in serious pain. But the guy was playing because he was trying to get his team to the playoffs. Guys aren't going to do that this week. They're limited for the playoffs. They have nothing to play for other than their careers and paychecks and maybe a new contract with another team. So that worries me. So that's kind of sets up the Bears to get their ass kicked on Sunday night.
And that's where it comes down to coaching. Kind of like we touched on earlier. This is where your coach has got to get the players up, because you know what, you're playing for pride. Right. You've got some pride to still play for. Yeah. And do you want to have a losing record or do you want to have a winning record? And these next two games could be huge for you guys.
They could be, but I'm worried. I'm worried about that. So, I like Mahomes. I like Kelce.
You like that burger?
That bacon's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, buddy! What's that last game?
I got Montgomery in my six-pack. That's enough Bears. Chiefs favored by 6. I think they win by double digits.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
You
want to know what I like? Wait, real quick. You want to know what I do like about this game?
What?
is with all the talk of Trubisky.
You keep talking, I'll keep eating.
Trubisky and the fact that he was taken before Mahomes. He was taken before Deshaun Watson. There's so much talk going on with that.
Why are you bringing that up?
That I think Trubisky is going to go out there, and I do believe he's going to have more passing yards than Mahomes in this game.
Wow.
And I'm not saying Mahomes is going to have a great game by any means, but I do believe Trubisky will have more passing yards than Mahomes because of the fact he's got a lot he's riding for. The weather's going to be beautiful.
I hope you're right.
And you know what? I think he's going to play with a chip on his shoulder.
I hope you're right.
So
I hope so.
It's a gut feeling.
All right.
It's a gut feeling.
We'll see what happens there. Last game, we're going into Foxborough, Massachusetts.
The mass hole.
The mass hole. Buffalo playing New England.
Oh, come
the
on,
Pats
baby.
are favored by 6.5. 37, another low-scoring game because you have two good defenses. I give Buffalo the edge on the defensive side of ball here. And you know what? With Tom Brady, he's been struggling quite a bit. We talked about this again a couple shows ago. He's losing people to throw the ball to. Mohamed Sanu has not been anything they expected him to be. He's been dropping more passes. He's been catching. And Edelman's banged up. Brady really doesn't have a lot of options or a lot of weapons, I should say, on the offensive side of the ball. The defense is pretty solid, so I do expect this to be a low-scoring game. Probably the over-under 37 is probably right about right. Maybe Buffalo 24, New England 13.
Get out. Get the fuck out. In my head, as I'm sitting here and I'm thinking right now about how awesome this game is going to be, my head, I'm going 24-13 is what I'm thinking.
Shut up.
So I'm going to have to change that now. But here is where I'm going with this.
You don't have to change it. If you got the same score, you got the same score.
You know what? Here's where I'm going with this. And you guys all know how I am, and I am a diehard Bills Mafia for life son of a bitch. Number one defense against quarterbacks.
Where'd that come from?
Number one defense against running backs. Number one defense against wide receivers. 13th best defense against tight ends. New England statistically is a juggernaut on defense.
They are.
Where do they lack? It's offense. We know that. Tom Brady is aging. He came out of the gate like a gangbuster. His age is catching up to him. The 16-game season is wearing on him right now. I don't care what kind of cryo chamber or what kind of vegetables the son bitch is eating. He is not the same Tom Brady that he usually is. But Buffalo's defense, watch out. This is the game that, yes, I do believe it's going to be 24-13. I believe you're going to see a defensive touchdown this week, and it's not going to come from New England. It's going to come from Buffalo. Watch out for Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde, and, of course, Tre'Davious White, solid Pro Bowl player. Devin Singletary did not face New England the first time. Devin Singletary is going to have a game much like Joe Mixon. Watch for him to go on the outside and torch that defense. And Josh Allen is going to have a good game. He's going to throw for over 200 yards. He's going to find the end zone once. Oh, no, twice, because he's going to run in there for 1, 2. Look for Buffalo to shut Tom Brady down. They're going to go after the division. And watch Miami kick New England's ass next week with a little Fitzmagic, and Buffalo takes the AFC East. That's what I got for you. That's the show. Go Buffalo. Yeah,
Go Buffalo,
buddy.
I got nothing really to add to that. Jay's excited as hell. I'm excited for that game too because I hate the Patriots, and I kind of have a reason to root for the Bills because my good friend loves the Bills. So why don't we get the hell out of here because we've been here long enough.
We have.
And
guys, good luck to you guys in your championships if you're there. If you got questions for us, we'd be more than happy to try to answer. Help you guys get that championship. Get some bragging rights. We're going to be here next week. Week 17.
We'll be here week 17 for those who are still going or people who are still looking to have fun. Jay and I are going to have some fun with our week 17 six-packs.
Damn right.
And come back for the playoffs, come back for the Super Bowl because we'll still be talking about those games and
That's
your
right.
DFS scores. So, yeah, buddy, let's do it.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
I kind of like it. I like it.
Do we get it?